Hey everybody, it's Dr. Goggin from Possibility Doc. I've got
Coach Josie from Western Washington University.
woo, we are the Startup Sisters. We're super psyched to talk to you today about your excuses. Well, actually, we're going to really talk about my excuses because these are all my excuses, and I'm going to give Coach Josie a quiz. Josie, this is going to be really hard. I know you've heard a lot of excuses from people. You could do it though, right? She could do this. Okay, I want you to tell me what you think. This is like we're on Family Feud, okay? Yay! What are the top excuses that you hear for not being able to exercise? And we're going to talk about how to overcome them. All right. Like, what do you think? What do you hear about why people can't exercise?
People like to say they don't have enough time. They're too tired.
Totally. They don't have enough time. Too tired. Ding, 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 ding. That is the number one reason. You just got it like right off the bat. Holy moly. Right. So that's the number one reason that people do not exercise, because they paradoxically, they say they're too tired. Okay. And we're going to talk about how we can overcome that one. Okay. You said too tired. What was the second one that you said?
Time restraints.
Not enough time, right? That's a good one. What else have you heard?
Not enough energy.
Not enough energy fits right in there with I'm too tired.
Lack of motivation.
Right? Can't get myself up even started. Yes, totally. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna take you on Family Feud when I go on. Well, we are the Startup Sisters, so we could be a family on Family Feud. Do you even know what Family Feud is?
I do.
Don't. You do. Okay, good. I didn't know you were old enough to know what Family Feud is. I'm representing for the middle-aged crowd. Josie's representing for the cool college crowd. Okay, what else? What else do you hear? One I hear a lot is that I'm just too self-conscious to exercise. I think that's a barrier for people. I know for me, it's personally been a barrier. I remember feeling shy and embarrassed, especially before I became old and married, feeling uncomfortable around, exercising around people I found attractive, and men and women. I was embarrassed around all of them. I was like, I just felt shy. The other thing is I also had a hard time with boring exercise. People say exercise is boring. So let's start peeling these away one by one. We're going to peel this onion, starting with I am too tired. Do you ever feel too tired, Coach Josie, when you're going on a run to get going?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. How do you get over that excuse? What do you
I
do?
just run. I feel much better after.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's important to recognize. For most people, the motivation to do the thing comes after they start. So you might not feel like it at first. And in fact, exercise will give you more energy. So that excuse of being too tired, once you understand and you can get into the headspace of realizing that you're going to get more energy by actually exercising, even though you're tired right now, and just starting. So maybe you can say to yourself, I'll just do this for 5 minutes. Right? That's a way to trick yourself into doing it. And then the other thing is, what about times of days? When do you exercise best?
Morning.
I'm a morning exerciser too. So I found, though, when I track my sleep with my Aura ring, that I actually sleep better when I exercise mid-afternoon. Interesting. But still, the morning is when I know I can get it done. So too tired, you're going to get more energy if you are able to actually get started. What about this one? Have you heard this one? I can't afford a gym.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, neither can we. Coach Josie and I, we're not gym. Are you a gym member?
Just climbing gym.
Oh, well, right. The climbing, of course. And Coach Josie is a climber too. We're going to do a segment on climbing. We can go to Vital. Yay. Sure. Yay. Cause I can't climb at all. Although when I was in college, I tried rock climbing and I loved it. But Josie climbs, my daughter climbs. We can do a segment at Vital Climbing Gym. Yay. But you don't have to join a gym. And I'm not a member of a gym. And honestly, thank goodness for YouTube and the internet, because you can watch amazing aerobics instructors. And you don't have to pay money for it if you have a phone, right? It's free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about the time piece? I don't have enough time. How do we get past that one?
It's a perceived barrier. You always have enough time.
Yeah. If we really think about our day, let's say you have 16 waking hours in a day. Do you have 5 minutes? Do you have 10 minutes? Do you even have 20 minutes?
Yeah.
You do have enough time. And so we get around that barrier by, I think, #exercise buddy, having somebody say, hell no, sister, you are coming with me. We're going now, right? Making a date, having an exercise date, and of course, exercise snacks, but planning it in to your day, right? Now, what about the busy moms? And I've been a busy mom. And, we would try and get our kids doing the thing, because honestly, as a parent, you want them to see you exercising, even if it's simple like dancing, so that they start to, and it can be so much fun to exercise with kids. So the other thing is, when my kid was taking Kung Fu, and I was sitting watching the Kung Fu lessons. Well, I happened to notice that in this gym, they had other lessons going on. And at the same time, they happened to have this high intensity, this intermittent interval training class. And I was like, how can I not join a class and exercise while my kid's exercising? So whether it's walking around the field while your kid's at Little League, or if your kid's at Kung Fu, joining the class. I even asked if I could join the class, and they're like, no, you can't join the class. That would be embarrassing for your child. I was like, okay, well, they found me a different class. But exercising with your kids can be great if you're a parent. So what about boring exercise?
Make it fun.
Make it fun. Yeah. Okay. And you know what I just ordered?
What?
Guess what I just ordered. Guess. You're never gonna guess.
I'm not
This
gonna
is
guess.
a hint. It's a hint. It's a hint. Come on.
Glasses.
Come on.
Goggles. VR.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I've just ordered. And you're going to get to do it with me, Coach Josie. So I've just ordered some VR goggles, and we're gonna do like lightsaber workouts and show you that it can be very fun to, We Fit. I mean, even doing We Fit can be exercise. So we want to find ways to make it fun, interesting, out of the box. Do you like to dance? Go to a Zumba class. If you're gardening can be exercise. All you have to do is make it intentional, right? And then there is the kitchen dance, which I do. I've alluded to this before, but when I go in my kitchen, as soon as I go in my kitchen, I've got 80s music on, and I'm starting to dance in ways that would embarrass my children if they saw it. And sometimes it does embarrass my children. Like right now, when they see this video, they'll be embarrassed, right? Okay. But you can choose a room in your house where you just dance, and that is not boring. In fact, your fun and interesting level goes up like a factor of 10 when you start to dance in one of the rooms of your house. Okay, so I challenge you all to do that. Okay, and this also takes care of being too self-conscious, because if you do it in your home, well, you no need to be self-conscious about that. Let's see, what other barriers do we have, Coach Josie? Can you think of that we need to smash them?
Not being able to stick with the exercise is a big one.
Right. So how do we stick with it? I know we talked a little bit about this on the last video that we had, trying to set those goals that are small and doable, measurable, that you're in control of, and also to make sure that you're having fun doing it. That's, I think, fun. Don't you think that's really key to continuing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And also to keep your track record, right? So you are seeing your accomplishments. And I think comparing ourselves to where we were before is really important as we're moving forward, and not comparing ourselves to yesterday. But let's say if I've been doing a little bit of exercise and I look back to a few months ago when in the pandemic, over Christmas, this was cookies, and this was me with cookies. And it's hard for me to admit that, but I actually I bought all kinds of questionable food that I would not recommend anybody eat, that I ate over the break. I was feeling down over holiday break. And I did not exercise. And I put on at least 5 pounds during that week. And when I look back to that time, I'm doing a lot better now. And so I think it's important to look back to when really we weren't doing anything, and compare, our progress, right? The other thing is, keeping that track record. And let's see, what about the idea of I don't like working out around the opposite sex, or that's a thing for some people.
Yeah.
And what's nice is now there are like gyms that cater to that. So where you'll only find, like a women's gym or classes that are just the guys. I think you can always find that kind of thing. It might be that the home workout is going to be where you start until you're feeling more comfortable. Have you ever heard anybody say this? I don't like to sweat.
Yeah.
Totally, I have too. And so this is where I've got to put on my doctor hat here, because you guys, sweating, you clear out levels of toxins that will affect whether or not you can remember stuff when you're 70. You got to sweat them out. Sweating, while it does, it actually relieves your body of toxic burden that you're getting through your skin, in your food, breathing in stuff. It comes out through your skin. And we know that people who sweat regularly have a decreased risk of Alzheimer's. If you look at those people in Sweden who are doing like big old, sweats every day in their saunas, they don't get Alzheimer's as much. And there's a reason for it. What other ideas about people who don't like to sweat, Coach Josie?
Well, you could swim. You won't sweat in a swimming pool.
Yeah, I love that. Right. Very nice. You could stick with exercise snacks, like small. And then also, if you're worried about like redoing the hair and makeup sort of thing, that's a perfect reason to do it very first thing when you get out of bed. And I think for some people, the first step to exercising is doing a stomach crunch while you're still lying in the bed. This counts as exercise. And it's a great way. You want to get that a little bit more of a svelte tummy while you're lying in the bed. Before you get out of the bed, you can do some stomach crunches right there. It's great. How easy is that? You don't, and if you work up a sweat before the morning shower, well, it's no big deal, right? I think that we have hit all of the high points. And we're going to send you guys our tips to overcome your excuses. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit the button below, and join us on the next video, because we're going to talk about how to supercharge your new fitness routine using nutrition. Food is medicine. That's what we say in functional medicine, right? So we're going to talk about how you can use nutrition to supercharge your workouts and get the most out of your workouts and get as strong like a bull, right? Let me see your muscles, Josie. Yes. All right. So we are the Startup Sisters. And so we'll see you next time. We're going to start to talk about nutrition. You guys have an awesome day. Bye.